the chart that stands before you. Actually, take that back. I stand before you, the chart which is posted before you. And again, you notice I'm sleeveless today. I apologize in a statement to hubris. However, since we are doing a video in regard to exercise research, I was convinced to dress as such. So with that in mind, let us proceed in regards to this research into exercise. And we're talking just one single bout of exercise. So in the chart posted before you, this is what's magical about it. This is not necessarily when you hear the word acute exercise, we're not talking hours upon hours. In many of these exercise protocols, we're talking less than 30 minutes. But let us proceed. You see the first part, brain and behavioral changes. That's what's affected by the exercise protocol, which you see in the middle. And the anatomical side, which is affected, of course, is on the other end. Again, you hear the word acute and it sounds kind of scary, but in many of these cases, it's not as acute as you think it is. And the reason it is important is this, because a lot of people are looking to augment themselves from external sources chemically, when actually the simplest, safest, and most effective long-lasting route may appear to be simply by being more physically active. So before someone's looking at chemical augmentation, again, always please consult with your medical professional doctor, you may want to attempt just basically being a little bit more physically active for a few more minutes per day than normal. But let us proceed into public citation as follows, and I'll read kind of fast. Please forgive me, but we have a lot of territory to cover. Can a single exercise session benefit your brain? Even a single bout of physical activity can have significant positive effects on people's mood and cognitive functions, according to a new study. In a new review of the effects of acute exercise published in Brain Plasticity, researchers not only summarize the behavioral and cognitive effects of a single bout of exercise, but also summarize data from a large number of neurophysiological and neurochemical studies of both humans and animals, showing a wide range of brain changes that result from a single session of physical exercise. And that's the magical part, i.e. acute exercise. Don't be scared by that word. However, they show the three most consistent cognitive behavioral effects of a single bout of exercise in humans are improved executive function, enhanced mood states, and decreased stress levels. Of neurophysiological changes have been reported after an acute bout of exercise. Apologize, kind of lost track there. Mainly humans, and these results emphasize the widespread brain areas where these physiological changes have been seen. One of the most erratic effects seen after acute exercise, again, don't get scared of the word, is the change in neurochemical levels, including neurotransmitters, metabolites, growth factors, and neuromodulators, which perhaps provides the best illustration of the complexity of brain responses to acute exercise. With that in mind, let's go into the study parameters. Now, before I actually go into study parameters, after this, I find that certain types of intensity of exercise seem to affect certain different types of cognitive function, which means eventually you may be able to tailor certain exercise programs to affect or benefit certain type of cognitive functioning, whether it be mood elevation, whether it be high memory, whatever it comes down to be. You'll see more towards the end. All right, citation title: The Effects of Acute Exercise on Mood, Cognition, Neurophysiology, and Neurochemical Pathways. A review, DOI, is posted. Funding, no COIs I could see, or conflicts of interest for those not familiar with the term. Study participants, humans and animals, even though most of them seem to be human. All right, dosage of materials, I'm leaving that posted for you to review on your own. I don't want to read all that off because we don't have that much time. But it's amazing all the aspects they took into account in regard to the research. Results, a little redundancy towards the top here, but you'll get to basically the whole meat of the paragraph towards the end. Notably, there's currently no standardized way to assess the influence of exercise on cognitive functioning, which have resulted in a wide variety of physical activity protocols and different critical factors of format. The reason that's important, again, that finding certain intensities affect the brain differently. The types of exercise used, intensity, and duration. Despite this wide range of tested parameters, three of the most consistent effects reported are improvements in cognitive tasks that depend primarily on the prefrontal cortex, enhancements in mood state, and decrease in stress level. More limited evidence suggests that the acute exercise improves long-term memory and associates in memory depending on the hippocampus, learning and retention of motor skills, dependent on the striatum, emotional memory, dependent on the amygdala, dang fine, and skill dependent on both primary visual and motor cortex. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that word. All right, the more important part, the intensity of the exercises, as follows. The colleagues found that exercise intensities ranging from very light to very hard have all been reported to improve cognitive functioning. So no matter what you do, as long as you do it, you're going to get some benefit. One study, for example, as far as the different types now, that compared the effects of various maximal resistance programs on cognitive functioning revealed that different intensities of exercise might differently improve distinct types of brain function. Moderate intensity exercise may be more beneficial for executive functions. High intensity exercise may be more beneficial for information processing. Now, this is kind of interesting because you usually don't think of exercise in regard to Down syndrome, but here are the benefits in regard to those with Down syndrome as far as how it impacted them, as follows. In this population, moderate intensity exercise but not high intensity exercise facilitated information processing speed or process speed, whereas both moderate and high intensity exercise were beneficial for inhibitory control. So that's where it gets kind of interesting. Eventually in the future, you may be able to, how would you say, design workout programs which are physical, yet will yield you certain beneficial results for your brain, cognitive function, executive functioning, or whatever, in regard to enhancing your thinking capacity in one way or the other, mood, so on and so forth. All right, but as follows, and in conclusion to what the researchers state, the studies presented in this review clearly demonstrate that acute exercise has profound effects on brain chemistry and physiology, which has important implications for cognitive enhancements in healthy populations and symptom remediation in clinical populations, meaning eventually it can be used part of a treatment protocol. So it's fascinating, especially in regard to this is just one single bout of exercise, all the changes in the brain that take place in response to physical activity, showing that one is definitely related to the other. The brain to the body to the brain, they both work harmoniously together, especially when they're both being activated. Again, I hope you find this information of use. The chart is posted here. I'll leave it up for you towards the end in a little larger format so you can review it on your own. DOI citations are always listed for you to also research on your own. And as always, I hope you find this information interesting and of use. And I look forward to seeing all of you once again in 7 days. Rapture Channel signing off, and thank you as always. Catch you then. Bye.